All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome from the road, the Channel Strong Tour Southwest here in California today. We were in San Diego yesterday. We are in Irvine today. So if anyone is in the area and you want to stop by, we would love to see you. So I'll do some general housekeeping, waiting for my co-host, Mr. Ken Patterson, who's trying to put some things together right now and come on the broadcast here on the RV. So just to set the agenda, we are on the road. This is day 2 of the Channel Strong Tour Southwest. So you're in Irvine, Burbank, San Jose, Walnut Creek, which is actually going to be closer to Berkeley. And then next week, Salt Lake, Vegas, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe, which we'll be doing around the Taylor Business Group Big Conference. And then lastly, in PAX 8 backyard, Denver, Colorado. So if you're in any one of these areas and you can join us and you're an MSP, go to this page, MSPinitiative.com, click on Channel Strong, scroll down to the bottom, excuse me, pick your city, fill it in, and if you're approved, you're going to get an invite, register. We'd love to see you out. Of course, we have our monthly giveaway happening right now. So we call it the tailgate giveaway, perfect for football. So if you're an MSP and you think you could win a free prize, absolutely no cost to you, just throw your name in the hat. Thanks to these sponsors, 10 gifts, prizes, giveaways every month. All you got to do, throw your name in the hat. What do you got to lose other than a couple of emails? So lastly, this session and every other session we've ever done are on MSPinitiative.com under sessions. So we record them, package them, throw them out. You see, they're here from March of last year till now. Just give us a little bit of time while we're on the road because, you know, bandwidth's not as plentiful, but they will be posted pretty shortly. So welcome everyone to Tuesday, September 14th. And we're going to give you a pretty quick tour while we're streaming here of the pretty cool RV tour bus that we travel in, right? So you can see we have a full fireplace right here with a TV on top, pretty cool. Got a little kitchen area and kind of hangout area, right? Got a full kitchen, right? It's kind of cool. And this whole thing pops out, you know, it's our living room, right? Full fridge with a lock, very important. Got to have the lock. What's up, Ken? What's going on, buddy?
I'm working on it.
And then this is where we're broadcasting from, the couch. So pretty comfy, pretty convenient. Just getting comfortable. Now, I'm wearing my Eagles jersey because, you know, the Eagles decided to show up and play a real NFL game on Sunday. Me and Ken were in Phoenix on our way into this. So still riding high a little bit, but I know it's game 1. And if you're a West Coaster, right, the Raiders didn't quite make it out. All right, they actually won in overtime last night, I think.
They beat the Ravens in overtime, yes.
So, yeah.
For a ball.
Yeah, so that was cool. Good work. Good work here. No, we're good. Come on down.
I was working on your lighting.
All good. Here's my partner in crime, Mr. Kenny P.
Oh,
what's up, Ken?
What up?
How you doing, buddy?
Man, great. Got day 1 in the books. We're looking pretty good.
Did you get enough sleep last night, Pat?
Listen, what's sleep?
Yeah, not on the road, right? 100%. So anyway, weather's absolutely beautiful out here.
Yep.
I'll tell you, Phoenix is a little hot.
Just
the desert is definitely, yeah. So, but SoCal's pretty nice.
Yeah, SoCal's nice. We got sunshine, which is always good, right? Better than rain.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's been you know, day 1 was pretty amazing. We had great weather. We had we caught some really good shade at that time of day. So, you know, nobody was out playing cornhole in the hot sun because, you know, that's where I would be. It was really good. We had a great turnout. We had good shade. We had great food. The slushy bobo truck, whatever the
it was good.
It was a pretty good mix, and of course the churros with cookies and cream ice cream doesn't hurt. So,
no,
you know.
Not at all. Not at all. It was good. So life on the road, right, is interesting. I'm glad it's not winter time, although it's pretty nice in San Diego at most times of the year. Definitely a big shout out and thank you to the group who hosted us yesterday, Centrex IT.
Yep, Dylan, the CEO is absolutely amazing. Danny Lopez, who's the guy who's out in the field quite a bit. So we see him at events. He's the one that we had the initial conversation with to get things. And the whole team was absolutely fantastic. I mean, they bent over backwards to make sure we had everything. They even had their own cornhole boards. They had their own lettered vehicle out there for a little bit. It was well put together by them to help us do everything we needed to do. Plus, we did the food drive as usual. So, it was really a great event. Sometimes day ones can be a little rough. We had a lot of things that we had to adjust and adapt to make it work with the new bus and the new trailer and all the things. But with all that being said, we really we pulled it off, and we couldn't have done it without Centrex IT.
Yeah, so big thank you out to the group there. What town are they based out of?
Poway,
California.
just outside of San Diego.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate you. We'll send you some love as we continue down the line. Today we're at who's hosting us today?
Albaca Networks. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're in
Irvine, baby.
if you're in Irvine area, we'd love you to come out and join us if you're an MSP. And actually, it's gonna be a pretty big turnout today.
Yeah, we have large registration for today. Not super large if you're freaked out by large crowds, but large by any sense of these outdoor events. And yeah, don't miss out on something like this. You don't have to come out for the whole 2 hours. Come out for a few minutes and just say hi and check it out. Get some free food, some free drink, and you never know what kind of conversation could strike up and happen. We've had so many collaborations that I don't think initially even I would have thought of when I was talking about the collaboration. Having done the events at the bar and having those conversations and all the things that have come out of those.
Yeah.
We've even had just crazy new relationships form between MSP to MSP, vendor to MSP. So come out, have a conversation, hang out. You don't have to be here for the full 2 hours. If you, we've had a couple of reasons, like we had someone tell us, "Oh, I have my kid. I can't go out there." Yeah, you can. This isn't like we're not in a bar. We're outdoors, and we do have games. And the tour bus is kind of cool, so they can come and sit in the bus and watch TV. So don't feel like you can't bring your wife, or you have a child or something. They can come out and hang out for a little bit and see it. So definitely make sure you make it out here. What's Brent said?
Brent said, "Did you have to bribe Orly to do your event at Albaca?" Apparently not. Apparently not. Yeah. Orly. Yeah. I cannot attend when people wear such ugly jerseys. Keith, I promise. I promise.
Keith is coming today. He's coming today.
Keith, I'm not going to be wearing this at the event, so your wish is already granted.
He doesn't wear that at the event, Keith.
I just wanted to wear it here because, again, my team actually showed up.
How did Dallas do?
Dallas didn't do good. I mean, actually, no, it was a good game.
No,
it was actually a good game.
Actually, you watch that game and you got to be a little afraid of Dak because Dak played pretty damn strong.
If it wasn't for Brady deciding to actually play at that,
yeah,
they actually looked like they were on track, and then it was like that good old last 30-second.
As usual, the Tom Brady special.
Yeah,
but I mean, from a standpoint of you can't look at that as a win. You got to think that as a win because Dak looked ready to play.
What a shirt hater.
What a shirt
Thanks, Brent. I agree. It's a little bit salty about the shirt.
The funny thing is he was talking about my shirt.
Oh. He said, "By the way, I have cigars." Awesome. He's bringing the artillery here. And Albaca is awesome group. Yes, awesome. If it wasn't for horrific officiating favoring Brady. Hey, listen. There is the Brady effect. Let's
come on. Okay. Yeah. When you let officials rule the game, there's other issues. That's what I'll say. Officials cannot make the outcome of the game happen.
Yeah, well, I think Keith, you might have something.
Of course, you're going to say that. I'll say so. Now the Phillies and the Philly fans and the Dallas fans are going to get together.
It's the anti-Brady fans.
I don't know how you can be anti-Brady just because he whoops everybody's ass. I guess.
I mean, but he didn't win when I played it.
One Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
You should be proud of that one. It's so cute that you have one Super Bowl. That's something that Keith at least has in common with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was before electricity when Dallas was winning Super Bowls, but still they won Super Bowls.
Okay. Well, there it is, Keith. He just called you out on the carpet, buddy. He said the throwing of a helmet is a mandatory 15-yard penalty, a rule that is 5 years old. Okay, what do you have to say about that?
Did you say 15-year penalty?
No, 15. Oh, well.
That's a long penalty.
15 yards.
That's a long penalty.
Yeah, I agree. 15 yard. Yeah, see, he corrected.
Oh, 15 years. He's talking about the last time Dallas won anything. All right, I got you.
It's not me, man. It's him.
Sorry, Keith.
That's him.
You know I love you, man.
It's him. So, by the way, Darren, I appreciate you for jumping on and coming out yesterday. Darren,
Yeah, Darren
definitely gave us a lot of love yesterday.
Actually didn't just show up. I mean, he carried stuff, set stuff up. You know, thanks for the help, Darren.
Appreciate you, buddy. Well, we're looking to see Darren later on in the tour.
Yeah. Darren's gonna come out and see us in Scottsdale, right?
Yeah, and I think Salt Lake.
Oh, Salt Lake. Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what's happening in the world of IT? Well, let's just talk about this one because I thought it was really not a thing, but apparently, the internet does its thing. So Ken, like on the way in, right? Like, was it Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Everybody decided to like have a cow, right, about this email that went out, right? And like, so, Pax8 apparently had some bug in their system where, like, well, usually what happens is when your credit card comes to being expired, you get an email saying, update your credit card, which a lot of people do, right? I get that all the time. And so like you click on this link, you go into your account, you update your credit card, right? Like you just enter a new one, right? So apparently there was a bug, right? And then this email went out to everyone saying, update your credit card when not everybody's credit card was expired. And I guess that kind of got taken a lot of different ways unnecessarily, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, I get it. People are nervous, especially now with everything that's going on. So I get that part of it, but my only thing is do some homework or talk to folks before you go online and just start bashing anybody. It happened to be Pax8 this time, and I get it. Believe me, my Saturday wasn't going great before this happened. I was at a wake and I was getting messages about this thing, and then I had to jump in. Believe me, Pax8 moved fast. I mean, think about this. It was Saturday. There was a lot going on. It was right after 9/11, so there was stuff going on into the weekend, and there were people complaining about how quick it got turned around. But the main thing is the only people that got this email were the actual contacts. So you got this email. You saw your own 4 last digits of your own.
Right. It was like
card.
You're the billing contact. You
Right.
got an email saying your card is expired, enter a new one.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty straightforward.
Here's my other piece of this, just to keep it simplistic. Was it a problem? Sure. Do people need to post that we need to fire people over this? I don't get that part. Like nobody specifically went in and did this. This was not a thing. It wasn't a planned set thing that happened. But here's something that we're all trying to train our customers to do. Don't just click on links. A lot of people, like George, saw it and said, this looks a little weird. I'm not going to click on this now. I'll deal with it later. And a lot of people called their reps to find out what was going on. So a lot of people didn't click on that link at all. If you did click on the link, it was you that clicked on it. It's not like the minute you clicked on it, it went to 1,000 emails with your last 4 of your credit card and your, I think your balance was one of the other things they were worried about. So, from that standpoint, I've been saying this all along. I said this when Kaseya had their breach, when ConnectWise had their thing, everybody, I said the same thing. Don't kick people when they're down. It could happen to you. And how would you respond when every one of your customers were beating you up before they could A, get a real answer, and B, is it even worth it? Why do you need to kick people when they're down? So my message isn't about, is Pax8 perfect? No. All this other stuff. Because I'm not the guy that's in the middle of all this from the technical standpoint. That would be like Matt Lee, who would be able to explain it and talk about it much better than I would. My thing is, we're all in this together. We've been talking about it forever. And I saw so many dirty, nasty messages, even after the explanation. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Why are we tearing each other down when we're supposed to be helping each other? We are all under attack. The whole community is under attack. But you know what? Know who wins when something like this happens? The people who are attacking us. And this, by the way, was not a cyber attack. It was a glitch. And the glitch went out. It got fixed fairly quickly. We had a message. People didn't like the message, so they started complaining about the message. So, I can't help all the people who are going to just pound their keyboards and talk about this type of thing. Let me just say, if it happened to you, I would be the last person to jump on a bandwagon. Bashing it, I would say, I hope everything gets worked out quickly. Let's all stand together. And that's how we should be dealing with things like this. It doesn't make sense to attack each other. We're in this together. The whole purpose of this tour was for the community and the people that we're supposed to be pulling together. And the stuff I saw during this was, quite frankly, embarrassing for our community to realize that people just taking any open opportunity to say negative things and do negative things.
Wow. Unfortunately, that's the forum keyboard muscle,
Right.
kind of thing going on. But anyway, kudos over to the Pax8, security and development team. I know Matt Lee was kind of, pulled into a lot of that because he's publicly facing. A lot of people, were able to knock on his door. So apparently, they were able to do what they needed to do and double check and get messaging out. So, good job to that team. And we'll actually have Matt on Channel Strong Tour later on. So we'll try and bring him on in future sessions during the trip. He always has plenty to say. So moving on, it's very interesting. Datto today just announced this product that they've been apparently it's kind of not a great kept secret, right? Like they've been, whispering about it for a while.
Right. And we've heard partners who, were on the board and testing it out. So we've heard a lot of things about it.
So they released a Azure Backup solution, right? Like the idea is that you're gone with your on-premise server. You're taking everything to the cloud Azure, whether you go Azure Direct, through distribution, Nerdio, whatever, right? There's a lot of ways to get there. But then there's still the concept of backup. I keep on running into end customers who are getting marketed to directly by pick whatever name you want.
Right.
And they're like, hey, move to our SaaS solution. But then I asked the question, how is their solution backed up? Did you ask this question? They're like, oh, it's in the cloud. It's already backed up. And I'm like, no, it's kind of not automatic.
With Azure, it's a little bit different. There's more with Azure that you can do. It's great. I mean, still having third-party backup companies being able to back up anything in the cloud is always good. Just like, the old one was email, right? Everybody thought, well, it's in the cloud, my email is backed up. And then that's why you have SaaS backup products like we have Dropsuite on the bus and Datto has Backupify. And those products actually back up all of your email, your Teams, your Teams. Some of them back up Teams chat. So you're going to get all that backed up because Microsoft clearly states, I believe it's still Article 5B of the policy that states, we're not responsible for your data. You need a third party to back this data up. So this is just taking it a step further and saying, hey, by the way, if we're going down that line of Microsoft's not fully backing this up and they're not responsible for it, here's an option for you. And it sounds like, listen, like anything else, do your due diligence and check it out and make sure, it complies and where they're backing it up is the right place to be backed up, right? Is it someplace different than Microsoft's, back end? Because that gives you a little bit of extra layer, right, of not backing it up in the same place that you're getting, you're storing it type of thing. But,
I think the bigger concern is, my understanding is when you put stuff in Azure, and I'm not even talking about Azure specifically, but let's talk about that now specifically.
Right.
When you put stuff in, right, I don't care whether it's AWS, I don't care if it's Google, I don't care if it's Alibaba or private or whatever, the default position is it's not turned on, right? Like you can park your stuff there, you can transition your stuff there, but the backup isn't automatically.
Well, you're not going back
on.
60 days to get something.
Right.
So
so my thinking is, well, number one, thanks, I guess, kudos to Datto. You're kind of in the wind for a while. We're waiting for new stuff. So congrats on, putting something out there. And I think there's a, kind of like a more open, right? Anybody can opt in between now and the end of the year and get like a promo type pricing solution from them to see if it's for you and kind of decide whether you want to go down that road. But even just SaaS solutions itself, right? Like, Walter said and SharePoint to a Datto, but what about Salesforce? What about all of these, they call this, these, shadow IT as one, right? Like any, middle manager just swipes credit card and all of a sudden a new app shows up. And then what's the, we've talked about vendor due diligence, coming off of Kaseya and stuff like that. How often are the end users, when they're not involving IT, going to make a decision? And then they came back like, oh, we bought this, we signed a 3-year, and we're like, did you ask these questions?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, they said it's okay. And I'm like, do you have that in writing? Because they said it's okay, doesn't work when you're down.
Right.
And so unfortunately, I think a lot of people can, there's a little bit of, the end user thinking that they're smart. And I'm not saying that they're not, but they don't know what questions to ask.
Right. They don't know what they don't know, as we talk, right? We talk a lot about that. And by the way, the end user shouldn't be making those decisions anyways, right? It should be, that's the problem, right? We talk about this all the time. What expectations are we setting as the MSPs, right? We have to make sure that they understand that their stuff's not just being backed up, just like it's not all being magically monitored unless you're paying for that service, right? Like they don't get that. Going back to even the break fix folks, like, oh no, what are you talking about? I pay you, you're responsible for this stuff. And then
Well,
you come back and say, well, I told you about this, but did you really talk about it? Did you say you're not going to get this if you don't get that, you know, pay for this? Just like the SaaS backup's the same thing. Make sure they understand you're not going to get this without having this piece.
yeah,
right?
but it's the reverse marketing play.
Right.
So easy a caveman can do it. It's all done for you. Let me go a step further, right? I was on a call today with an MSP right before this, and like we got hung up into what's the difference between M365 and like just like an M5 and an E5, for example, right? Like what is the clarification difference between those two? Like M is supposed to be managed by some, like what's the Microsoft delineation there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is with M, you're getting all the security pieces. You're getting
Okay.
all those pieces that you should have. And you know, and the easy delineation is that at one point in that process, the M in the Office 365, the $20 SKU for now, is the same. So why not make that transition? And the biggest thing people say is, well, I don't need all that. Well, sometime you might. And if it's the same price, why wouldn't you go for the product that has all that? And you can slowly, by the way, you don't have to do it all at once either. You can build a roadmap, and now you got yourself some longevity, right? Because you build a roadmap and say, hey, right now we're going to start out with just the filtering. Then we're going to roll into archiving, whatever. All the little things that come on top of the package, you can take them and put them in piece by piece. You don't have to do them all at once, but you have the availability. And also, Microsoft compensates on the back end higher on M365 than they do for Office 365.
Interesting.
And there's a reason for that, because that's where they want everybody to go, right? So that's what they're going to do. So the incentives are much higher on M365 than they are on Office 365 products.
So you actually bring up a word. I'm going to go down this road. So I saw like 2 or 3 threads coming into the tour about the people dealing, and it's not PAX8 specific, it's
Right.
more Microsoft question, right?
Right.
About where these incentive programs seem buried. People are like, where are they? Like, how do I know if I qualify? And it's not even a distribution thing. It's actually a Microsoft program.
So you're right. It's a Microsoft thing, but your distributor should be helping you with this.
Okay.
That's what PAX8, our whole thing with the Trojan horse for MSPs is get your Microsoft product in line, get your foot in the door, and then build your stack around it, right?
Mhm.
And the way that PAX8 has become strong, which has helped me, which is what kind of made me jump over to PAX8 side when I started to see this stuff, was PAX8 had Microsoft specialists that deal with this stuff all the time so that the partners don't have to deal with that. And I'm sure the other distributors have something. I'm not sure how well it works or not works, so I'm not saying that. But what I know is PAX8's system works. We get the most bang for the customer's buck. And we were just talking about this the other way, Chris Leffingwell from Oklahoma. He was a friend of mine before I came to PAX8 and after I came back, obviously. And he had a new partner. He asked me to talk him through it because he didn't want to just step on his toes and go to PAX8. They made the switch. About 30 days later, 45 days later, I run into Chris at an event. He says, something's wrong. He goes, it's right, but it's wrong. I don't understand. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Like, explain. You're confusing the shit. You're confusing me, right? He goes, no. We got $45,000 from Microsoft. And I'm like, okay, doesn't sound wrong. He's like, well, yeah, but why? It's just big. Turns out that his last distributor was not doing the back end stuff, was not fulfilling this stuff. And because some things were not set in motion, they weren't getting their money. Luckily, it was one of these things where all we had to do was go in, make the changes. They got $45,000 check in incentives and rebates. Now, clearly they do a lot of Microsoft, but it was months and months and months of not being set up properly. So Microsoft doesn't have a place to send the money. They won't. So this is an extreme. This is not something that happens all the time, but every time I ask this question to partners who are using it and doing it, they tell me at least $2,000 to $3,000 a month in revenue on the back end from their rebates and incentives. It typically pays for your silver competency. So why not get that? Because then you get more incentives and rebates through that, having your silver, right? And you don't have to pay for it if it's paying for itself through that. And then we also show them how to use because there's money that doesn't go right to your bottom line. There's money that has to be used to invest in marketing for Microsoft. So there's marketing dollars that just sit there and most MSPs don't use it. And guess what? It pays for your website as long as you put Microsoft on there and you're saying you're selling. It pays for your marketing as long as you're marketing as Microsoft, you're doing modern workplace. So why wouldn't everybody use this money to build out their business, right? you're going to get your check, you're going to get your thing, and they have some minimums and they have some stuff.
I was going to say, Ken, I'm not sure everybody knows this stuff exists.
No, that's the thing. That's why for us, it's like reach out to your rep. If you have another distributor, reach out to them and ask them. If they don't do it, then, you can have some discussions with other distributors, but reach out to your rep and talk to your Microsoft specialist and just ask, hey, I want to talk to a Microsoft specialist. I want to make sure I'm getting the most bang for my buck. And look, there are minimums, right? I believe the last time I checked, you have to have at least 300 seats to be able to show that silver is worth it. And then you're going to get the incentives and rebates above that. But for the most part, you're getting that number. There is a minimum for some of the marketing dollars that they changed. And it might be something like 10,000 a year or something. I think most people can get to that amount. But it's there. When I looked at the number when I first came to PEX 8, and I couldn't believe all this stuff that was going on in the back end, because a couple of MSPs I worked with, it was going extremely well. I was starting to look on the back end and say, what is this? What is this plan? They're like, there's still billions of dollars that Microsoft just sits there that nobody takes because they don't know. And we know it's hard. That's why we took it on ourselves to add it to our process and know that we can help people with this process.
So it sounds like there's a money bin, Scrooge McDuck edition, sitting out there. And if you're any way, shape, or form tied into Microsoft, which I'd say most probably are, probably should ask these questions.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally free money. I mean, you got to use it in the right ways, it sounds like, but if you don't have it, you can't play. If you can't play, you can't win. So, I mean, it sounds to me like if you're in Microsoft land, if you're big enough to go direct to Microsoft, or if you're in a tier 2 kind of distribution relationship, whoever your point person is, you should drop them a line today. And you just ask the question, do I qualify for any of these programs? Can you send me a list? Can you send me what the rules are? Can you send me what the thresholds are? Because it just sounds like it's unused money. And to be honest with you, it's not just Microsoft. We hear vendors, I know this is cliche, but it's true. We hear vendors say that their MDF money goes spent pretty much about half of it.
Right.
So if they, so if, let's say they had, just throw a number out there. Let's say, $1 million in marketing development funds, $500,000 of that, potentially would go unused. And, that's crazy to me. But the other problem is, and it's like cause and effect, right? You build out the Amazon style experience so that you don't have to talk to human beings. But then in order to get access to this stuff, you have to talk to a human being.
Right.
So like the relationship there still counts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, but you're right. But there's a hybrid version here that works, right? You have the marketplace for doing the day-to-day stuff, but for your actual account, you should have a relationship with somebody, and they should know what you do, how you do it, and when you want to be contacted, right? You want to build that relationship. We talked about this before. It goes 2 ways. If you're just sitting back waiting for your reps to call you and wondering why they're not calling you, it's because you're sitting back and you're waiting for them to call you. You should be reaching out to them, setting those expectations, talking to them as well. You get out what you put in on anything. So from that standpoint, yeah, I do believe that there's a hybrid version of this that works where relationships matter. They always matter, right? You have a good relationship with anybody. Let's take the vendors and MSPs out of it. When you have a good relationship, more things seem to happen, right?
It's true.
And you do the same with business. You should have great relationships with the people you're spending your money with.
Agreed. So Brent, we missed a couple of your items saying that I figured Ken had too many beers the night before. I don't know what he was talking about.
What are you talking about? Come on, Brent. No socks for you.
No socks for you.
Are you talking about now? Do I look like I didn't have any beers last night. Actually, I only had 1 beer at the event, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. I'll have to pop back in and tell us what he's talking about. So let's also talk a little bit about, the whole situation with, privacy, right? He said the notification, he said. The email, he said maybe you butt.
Oh, I got it. Now it makes sense.
You butt dialed.
Yeah, that was my butt dial, Brent.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah, hopefully Ken doesn't have the button for that. So a couple weeks back, Apple came out and said that they were going to start searching all photos in all iPhones across their network for child abuse, stuff like that.
Right.
Which then opened up a larger conversation about
security.
Right. Who owns
privacy?
Who owns the data?
Right.
Why are they able to access?
But
these
you
photos?
already know that it's in every single agreement, which none of us read. We know, right? Every agreement, though, I've seen this before, says this. It's theirs once you store it there. It's in their agreements. It's not worded that way, right? I'm not a lawyer. Ask Brad Gross. I bet you he'll find it in 2 seconds. Every agreement that you sign, whether it be Google, Microsoft, whatever, once you put it up with photo stuff, like stuff that you're sharing, once you put it there, it's theirs. And they do that because they also don't want you to have some kind of claim to it when you're deleting it, or I forget what it is. They have some reason it still doesn't make sense. But yes, they're saying if they have to hold on to it and it's theirs. It's
So
sitting in
is
their
that the
property.
came with my Microsoft email, my OneDrive, my Dropbox, like
That's what I'm
my
saying.
Google Photos? Like, where does it
I
say?
guarantee you in the agreements, there's something that to this effect where that's where they're thinking they're covering their butts with this type of thing. And listen, I don't think it's right? They're going to go through every photo. I get it. They think that they're going to catch some bad guys doing this, but it's going to open up another whole can of worms where, someone's like, oh, check out George Bardissi's photo or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, that had nothing to do with child abuse or nothing like that. We were talking about some photos with someone, right? Those photos could be taken and used in a number of different ways, right? Because someone had that photo. They put it out on Facebook so the whole world, well, not everybody they know saw it, but at this point, the whole world can get a hold of that and do something with it.
It's true. Brent comes and says, reminds me of can AI detect a Chihuahua versus a blueberry muffin? I do not trust these machines.
He's not a big fan of robots.
I mean, if the Transformers are real, you might have a problem, buddy.
Well, you already saw the company in Boston that has the robots that are doing flips and jumping up on bins and running. And it's like, if people don't think that's scary, I just think of iRobot. When
I was going to say, there was a movie about
yeah,
this.
I just think about Will Smith, iRobot, because that's how close these things are. I mean, they're jumping up and grabbing things and rolling, and they're pretty accurate. It's scary.
I mean, the movies are like, there's like a 10-year, 15-year gap.
You mean
now.
like the Jetsons?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We don't have flying cars yet, but
I mean,
they did have the screens that you talk on, which obviously we all do that now, right?
Still haven't gotten transporters down yet.
No transporters yet.
And like, I don't know if Tesla equals the night industry's 2000.
No, because it's definitely not. I told you we were at Craig's. He called his car to come pick him up, and because we were in a garage, it thought we were up on the next level. So his car just drove right by us. And then he's like, yeah, it's probably because we're in the garage.
Walter Brown says, it's in the cloud. You do not have any privacy.
That's okay. There you go.
Okay. And then he says, yeah, yup, Walter Scott McNeely said it best in 1999. Talking about, I'm sure, the whole, yeah. Okay. And then Brent says, Transformers are real. Bumblebee's in the garage. I was like, they got you on that promotion there, huh, Brent?
Yeah, but is it the old beat up version of Bumblebee, or is it the new Camaro version of Bumblebee?
I'm sure it's a Camaro with the yellow and the stripes.
Right.
100%. Well, I was actually just, because we were talking about, buses and trailers and all that stuff. I had 3 Volkswagen Jetta diesels before Dieselgate. Everybody remembers Volkswagen's Dieselgate, where you said Camaro, but it's not.
Yeah, I knew it was.
So I had 3 TDIs, and then in Dieselgate, when they like frauded the government, right, and they set it so that when they were on the emissions thing, it just didn't do it. They bought those back, right? So a lot of people ran into those. I was having a conversation with Pete yesterday about, I don't know if electric trucks, like, the equivalent of like a Tundra or an F-150, something like that. Like if they're going, the electric versions are gonna be able to do the same thing as the diesel or the gas.
They seem to be. I mean, look, they now have a electric Mustang.
I don't know if I know Darren apparently has one of those.
No, he does.
Yeah, ask him.
Darren has an electric Mustang.
Yeah.
I saw one in the parking lot when we were walking through.
Yeah, no, he said he has one.
They look okay. I mean, I still like the way a real Mustang looks, but can they really do all that a Mustang can do? I mean, truck, that's a whole other level, right? But they do have them. They're out there.
That's not good. So there's a couple quotes that came in here. He said, you have zero privacy anyway, get over it. That's the guy who said that quote, Walter Scott McNeely. And then it says, that's why I swear by aluminum hats. Keeps the government from reading my brainwaves. Okay.
That's the brother in Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
He had the aluminum suit and the walls
Yeah,
were lined. And
yeah, yeah. And by the way, Better Call Saul's almost, they're finishing the last. He had like a heart attack.
Oh, no,
And so no, they stopped recording for a while.
he had a heart attack?
Yeah.
'Cause he's already got another show and a movie coming out.
No. Like he had he took him to the hospital. They stopped taping,
Oh.
and I just saw that they're just now finishing the taping.
It's gonna be weird. I hope they pull it together because it was on a right path to really align well, really kind of connect up with Breaking Bad.
Like that's what we've been watching the whole time. Like
You want that connection. Yeah. It was
I want to see Pinkman and White.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy with the bell. Ding 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 ding.
They started the show with a young version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, but the thing that sucks is it's so stretched out. You forget where the hell you left off, and you got to kind of watch the whole thing and get caught up.
Yeah.
And I love the part that they're also showing him working in the Cinnabon, like after, right? They keep showing clips of that, so that almost leads up to them. Are they gonna do the actual sequel?
Yeah.
With him out and doing the Cinnabon.
When was the last time you had a Cinnabon?
Me? A long time ago.
Okay.
I was eating them even though I knew it was 3 days worth of sugar. Well, not even sugar. It's like 3 days worth of your daily allowance for calories. Something ridiculous like that, but they are.
I hope so.
Never had a Cinnabon? Of course. All right. When's the last time you had one?
I don't remember.
Yesterday?
No, definitely not. And then there's also a prequel to The Sopranos.
Yeah, the movie. Right.
No, it's not a movie. I thought
It's a movie. It's
a
All
movie?
All Saints in New Jersey. It stars his son, which is phenomenal because I was freaking out when I saw the first clip. I was like, this kid looks exactly like Gandolfini, and it's Gandolfini's son. So he's got the same messed up tooth, and it's crazy. So it looks like him. There's some parts of it when I'm watching the preview saying it doesn't really tie into the story as much, like with his dad not being as connected to him, because his dad was really connected to him, even though the uncle was the one that took him in and brought in that whole piece of it, right? But it's going to be interesting to watch. We missed The Sopranos, so having something that's directly connected to it, I'm bummed that it's a movie because I, like you, thought it was going to be a series.
I agree.
And it's a movie, and they were also talking about doing a follow-up to The Sopranos, but I think the whole thing got squashed, so I haven't seen anything on that. Much like I just heard that Kenobi got squashed.
Oh yeah.
So I'm bummed about that. Yeah. The Kenobi thing was going to be Ewan McGregor. He's the perfect age to play Kenobi at that middle ground level where he's protecting Luke and protecting Luke on the on the planet there. And they're just like, it was all in talks. Everybody was all stoked about it, and all of a sudden I heard it got squashed. Disney crushing stuff.
And then we saw the first trailer for Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet either.
No.
Some good stuff, some bad stuff. We lost Natasha forever. She not only died in the movie, but she's now dead to Disney, so we won't see her ever again. Black Widow.
Oh, they sued.
She sued them without actually talking through it. So I don't know who's wrong because they were all kind of crazy. She sued them, and then Disney said, "Okay, we're dropping everything." So she had a haunted house movie coming out that she was in. Paging George. She had a haunted house movie based on the Disney haunted house. I don't know why they do that, but I guess Pirates of the Caribbean was big. So, and they dropped it. They dropped the whole production. She's no longer a part of anything anymore. Apparently, she had like 6 movies, different movies with Disney. And they just said, "That's it. You want to sue us? It's over."
I guess that kind of makes
so
sense.
we'll miss Black Widow.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen the new
What
one.
If?
Oh no, not What If, but I haven't seen the new Black Widow, obviously.
Oh, you haven't even seen the movie?
No, not that last one. Just haven't caught up to it yet. But yeah, the what was it you saying?
What
If?
If?
The What If, yeah, that's a cartoon. I tend not to get into those too much. I want to.
They actually do a pretty good job with that.
And What If is, it's one of those things where it's just could be anything, so it doesn't matter. Like these are just, I know Captain America's British and they have like all these different things. I get it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm there yet for that. I'm ready to deal with the whole multiverse and how it got split by Loki, right? That's going to be kind of a cool thing.
That was cool.
And I have to tell my sons, I'm like, guys, you can't go any further. You got to watch the Loki series because it's what ties this to why the multiverse is split. And now you're going to be able to get variations of Iron Man coming back and everything, all these
100,
different, right?
100%.
100 different ways.
So you can see we're in the movie section.
Yeah, exactly. Well, think about it. They set it up for basically they can make movies now because of the multiverse for the next 20 years.
Oh yeah.
Marvel will be doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, it took 20 years to get to this point.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
Well, it all started with Iron Man, right?
it should have never got. Iron Man is the Avengers.
But if you read the comics, this is exactly what happened. He did die.
Yeah, but then some other bad things happen in the comics. If you fast forward to the first day.
Well, he comes back. That's the thing. Like he is going to come back as a bad guy. I do know that. That's definitely one of the multiverse things where he comes back, and because the way they bring him back, he's confused, and I think he fights against the Avengers, some of the Avengers, or whatever.
Stay tuned.
Some
guys.
weird stuff.
Could be some cool stuff coming up. So, needless to say, we got the news that Datto isn't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, DattoCon.
Sad. I mean, we all wanted to get together and do a nice big event. And, obviously the location was tough, but that's not Datto's fault. They had that location before. They had to stick with it, obviously. So the location's probably the main thing, the driving factor for them making that decision. Not that we know, we're not in that room, but yeah, it's definitely a bummer. I thought that, DattoCon always brings the heat. It's always a large crowd of people that make it out there, and you get to see old friends, new friends, and a lot of collaboration, kind of like what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Bring people together and have that collaboration. And like, it's just, again, it's the community. When something like this happens, it's not something I'm happy about, right? Because it's another missed opportunity for people to collaborate, the partners to get together and come up with new great ideas, and vendors and partners getting to know each other better. So yeah, for me, it's a sad moment. Always been a big fan of DattoCon. The event is huge, and that it does all these great things. So, and they put on a good party too. So
yeah, 100%.
We know that some people help with those.
I don't know, Sean.
Some people are really good at throwing parties.
Parties? Oh, I don't know. I drink water.
I didn't say you have to actually party, but you throw a good party.
Okay, you say so.
Be on the lookout. MSP Initiative.
So,
MSP Initiative is going to have some good dealings for parties and events that do happen. But it's a sad thing that for DattoCon to have this happen. But in the end, we kind of all knew it was coming. We think that they're doing the right thing because it is Seattle and there's a lot going on there. So,
Well, so they're going virtual.
Yep.
It's like a 4 or 5 hour thing, 2 sessions. Kind of like international and whatever. Oh, still got some love here.
Paging George.
So we have that. I think there's Kaseya still.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vegas. That's one place. I won't talk about Kaseya, but that's the one place where I don't think events work. Because when you're in Vegas, the crowd's there for the event, and then they go, because it's Vegas. They're going to all different parts of the strip. They want to see them, whatever. There's so much to do there. It's the one place that I didn't agree when Exchange had it there. I don't agree. The Kaseya has it there. It's just, it's not a bonding event for the community in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm sure people are still going to go. You should, go, and if there's people you want to see there, great. But you know why people go to Vegas? They go to Vegas to see Vegas, and that's an unfortunate piece of that. This whole thing. But it's nice that they're having a live event, I guess, and it's in Vegas. So, and I guess Vegas is not as off as Seattle and some of the other spots. And then you have Next Gen coming up in October. Obviously, that was kind of the tail end of October, I think, and I think DattoCon was the beginning, right? It was DattoCon first, and then Next Gen was the other way around.
Yeah.
They're all melding together now. So I mean, it gives a little bit.
You have Taylor Business.
Taylor Business next week, right?
Big,
which is there's still time to check out Taylor Business if you haven't checked it out. Actually, I would reach out to George about that because there may be a possibility of some connection there to be able to try it out.
Especially if you're local, right? I mean,
if you're local, if you're local, come out to our event.
If you're in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe, I mean, you have a pretty good shot at checking that out.
Yep, and if you come in with us, there's actually a possible contest to win your way in for free as well.
That's
so
true.
There's going to be a lot of really cool things at that event. Then we're just kind of jumping on the coattails and popping in and doing the Channel Strong event, which shows that Taylor Business Group could have easily said, no, this is our event. You guys don't come anywhere near it. Like we have heard some places possibly talk about. These guys were like, no, it's about community, and we want our community to see what you're doing, and vice versa. And I'm sure invite people out. They'll be able to check out, the people that are here from our event. Maybe we'll be able to have a better understanding of what the Big is and what Taylor Business Group is. that's the way it should be approached. There's no animosity. It's like, sure, come in. And they've been very accommodating. So yeah, if you're in Scottsdale, Tempe, or Phoenix, or anywhere near that area within an hour, pop out. It's at Weekapaw, the casino. It's great. There's a lot of cool things out there. I mean, it's not close to anything, but it's not super far either. So I would come out and check it out. That's definitely another event. And I'm glad you brought that up, George, because that's one that's obviously near and dear to our hearts, because we're going to stop by with the bus and bring our community, mix it with their community, and have some another opportunity to collaborate.
100%. And then, of course, IT Nation.
Yep, IT Nation's one of my faves as well. Like I said, separate from any one company or anything like that. I think that event is where I met a lot of partners or actually friends when I was in MSP, all the way through to now being with PAX 8. And yeah, if you can get down to IT Nation, Florida is doing pretty well, and there hasn't been. I mean, we see the news and we see the reel, and there's a lot of stuff going on across the country. But as far as events go, that's a great place to have an event. And I'm sure that IT Nation will do it right and make sure that everybody's safe and set it up properly and all that stuff. So that's another really cool event to go to, and I'm sure there'll be some parties at IT Nation that will be talked about on a later date.
Interesting. What a concept.
What a concept.
So kind of rounding out the show here as we're in the kind of final stretches. So are we doing the community call this week? Or are you doing your normal?
We're going to work on it. We're going to try to do the community call. So
right.
Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be noon here. So me and George will be eating lunch on the call. Yeah, baby. What I do love about the West Coast is watching football and then having it end at a reasonable hour. I'm going to be able to start at 10 a.m. and go all day watching football.
I mean, given everything else, yeah, that's probably the one good
right.
thing.
That's the one thing. Like I found it shocking when I was in California, like it was 12 years ago. My buddy's like, all right, tomorrow morning we're going to hit the bar. Like tomorrow morning. It's like, yeah, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. I love it, but we actually went out by 10. I think it's 10 a.m. The games all start here, and it was just a crazy day. And then, by the way, you're done by 8 p.m. like the latest. Whereas East Coast, if we want to watch the late game, it's what, midnight?
It's an investment, guys.
Yeah, it's an investment
for sure. And then, so we'll be on Thursday, and then Tuesday, and then Thursday, and every Tuesday, Thursday. But on the tour, we'll add some more people in. We said Matt Lee and other people may be popping in because they'll be around. So just stay tuned for that.
Yep.
And I'm just looking like it feels like we've been on this for a week.
Day one.
No, we're in day 2 now.
But we only got day 1 under our belts.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a week, yes.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're driving from Phoenix to San Diego and then driving all over the place separately from the bus as well, it adds some time in life. I'm pretty sure I have some new gray hairs from this trip already. That doesn't happen over there. I'm not ready. I don't have the head like you. My head's misshapen. It would look good.
All right. Stay tuned. Watch for us online. We're keeping everybody kind of up to date as we're moving along. So you'll be able to kind of live vicariously through the feed.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, good. Call it a day. Catch you guys that are here in SoCal, hopefully later on in a few hours. And if not, we'll see you guys back here Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and whatever time it is everywhere else.
Yeah, right.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye, guys.